It is time now to welcome back the ravishing, the reliable Ross Tucker for his weekly segment here on The Sweat. Dude, Aaron Rodgers reminding everyone he owns the Bears, and he's not wrong, 22-5 against them now. But now he enters a matchup with the Washington football team, a franchise he's just 2-3 against all time. Packers still a heavy home favorite. How much do you like him to cover?
I didn't know Aaron Rodgers only 2-3 against Washington. That doesn't make me feel good. Wow.
Come on.
I love Emerson when you have information that I was not aware of. And that's making me second guess my thought a little bit, but I don't care. I really don't care what happens other years. There's lots of other teams and coaches other years. You know what I know? This year, Washington stinks.
Yep.
I don't know what happened, but their defense has gotten worse. Taylor Heineken is not playing very well. Taylor Heineke, I should say. I was going to say Taylor Heineke kind of playing like Heine, playing bad. Yeah. He's not playing good. I know that much. I'll take the Packers, and I will lay the points as long as it stays below 10.
Yeah, and Washington football team's been terrible, too, against the spread, 1-5. Green Bay, complete opposite, like 5-1 here. And the Bills, Ross, were reminded last week that a Super Bowl run will not come easy. They still have the best odds to win it currently on the DK Sportsbook, but the Titans, they ain't scared. Derrick Henry was brainwashed to think he was playing the Jaguars or something, so he ran for 3 touchdowns and an upset win over Buffalo. Another big dog now comes to Smashville this week. The Chiefs, who are favored. What are the chances you think Tennessee can cover?
Smashville. I love that, and I love Derrick Henry, and I love the Titans getting the points in this game. I don't really understand. I think there's still almost like a point spread tax on the Chiefs because they've been so good the last couple of years that the sports books just keep believing in them. But they're laying that many points at Tennessee. Their defense is still awful. Derrick Henry will run over them. They have no run defense to speak of. And the Titans are playing pretty well. I think people are still treating the Chiefs like they're the old Chiefs. They're not. They're the new Chiefs, and they're not as good.
Yeah.
Give me the Titans and the points.
Yeah, for sure. And I know the Chiefs are still chasing the Raiders there, too, in the AFC West. And Las Vegas responding well after a tumultuous week with John Gruden stepping down as head coach. They knocked off Denver, 10-point win. Your underdog Eagles come soaring into the Sin City this weekend. Who has the edge?
So this is a tough one because I don't know whether or not the Raiders are rallying around all of the Gruden stuff, and they're going to be one of those teams that, you know, latches on to that and they come together as a team and has a really impressive year, or if they just kind of got the short-term interim head coach for 1 week boost. I don't know. Nobody knows, which is why I'd probably stay away from this game. But if I had to pick, I would lean to the Philadelphia Eagles. They got extra time to prepare for this one, extra time to heal and rest. Lane Johnson is back, and I think there's a decent chance the Eagles win this game. If not, I'll take the points and hope if they do lose, it's a close one.
Okay, yeah, Philly 2-7 ATS in its last 9 road games. Eagles will look slightly different. We know that this week after shipping off Zach Ertz to Arizona. He'll probably slot right into that Max Williams role in the Arizona offense. Last remaining unbeaten team here, Ross, 6-0. Struggling Texans are up next for him. Arizona, a monster favorite. Can you see the Birds covering this lofty, lofty number?
No. I mean, I can see him doing it, but I'm not going to pick that. That's too many points. This is still the NFL. The Texans are still an NFL team. That is way too many points at this point. Plus, it's an odd week. And if you notice, the Texans, week 1, they beat Jacksonville. Okay. Week 3, they were right there with the Bengals. Week 5, they were right there with the Patriots. Weeks 2, 4, and 6, they got absolutely hammered. Well, it's an odd number. So I'm going to think that the Texans will be able to keep it close. Give me Houston in the points.
All right, yeah, last week Texans only able to manage 3 points and lost to the Colts. We'll see what happens there. Another spread that you have your eye on is which one?
You know, I like the Colts. I like the Colts getting the points from the Niners. I think people, because of how they started, have lost sight of the fact that The last 3 games, the Colts have won 2 of them by double digits. The only loss was against the Ravens when Lamar Jackson put his Superman cape on. But at the time, you know, the Colts were winning that game by double digits most of the game. Carson Wentz, 2 touchdowns, 0 picks the last 3 games. Give me Wentz, the Colts, and the points. There's no George Kittle for the Niners. Jimmy G hasn't played in a while with the injury and the calf. He might be a little rusty. I love the Colts getting the points on Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, they seem to be finding their groove on the offense for sure, Russ. And despite their under 500 record, kind of agree with you here, Indy. Been a strong bet for the bulk of the season. 4-2 ATS entering Week 7. How about a game total, dude? A game total of the week. You either like to go over or under?
Well, I'm going to give you one in what I think is the game of the week. It's the AFC North matchup with the Cincinnati Bengals at the Baltimore Ravens. I recognize that both defenses played better this past week than they had been. The Ravens shut down the Chargers. The Bengals shut down the Lions. But neither defense has really been great this year. And these offenses are real and they are spectacular. I love the young skill guys for the Bengals. Lamar Jackson playing out of his mind. I like the over in the Bengals and the Ravens. I think this one becomes a shootout.
All right, well, put your fantasy goggles on for me right now. Give us a guy you think will go off on Sunday's main NFL slate for some big-time fantasy points.
You know, I'm going to go Calvin Ridley, wide receiver for the Falcons. Here's why. He missed the last game for personal reasons. I think people kind of forgot about him. You know, they had a bye last week. It's been a couple weeks. Other people won't have him in their lineups. The Dolphins secondary, in particular the corners, have been ravaged by injury. I think it's a really good spot for Calvin Ridley and the Falcons to have a big day and Ridley to score a bunch of points.
All right, and before you take off, Monday Night Football here, dude. The Saints and the Seahawks, which, you know, used to get a fire burning in our loins when Russell Wilson, who's now injured, and Drew Brees, when they were involved, and Drew is one of us now, Ross. How do you think this one plays out?
Well, I mean, it depends. Will Russell Wilson do a 2-minute drill and talk to the guys in the fake huddle before the game? I mean, that can have an impact on the game if he does that again. In all sincerity, though, I like the Seahawks and the points quite a bit. I'm a little confused by this spread and by the Saints laying this many points on the road. Saints haven't proven anything to me this year. The Seahawks got their running game going in the second half in Pittsburgh. Easily could have won that game. This feels like a field goal game either way. Give me Geno Smith and the points on Monday Night Football.
All right. Love it, dude. Love it. By the way, the Seahawks historically play well as an underdog as well. 13-5 ATS record over the last 18 games in that scenario. Ross Tucker, we love you, man. Until week 8. Peace out.
Sounds great.